Greetings, everyone. I'm Matt Rednauer, co-chair of the sponsorship committee at Great River Human Resources, and today I have the honor of conversing with Joanna Davis, a distinguished professor of business administration at Augustana College and also vice president of Great River Human Resources. How are you doing this morning, Joanna?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I'm just excited that you're attending this podcast that we're doing today. But Joanna, and for all of you that are listening today, we are delighted to present GRHRA's Ignite HR Hot Seat, which offers a valuable platform to learn more about the exemplary leaders on our board. So Joanna, with that, are you prepared to participate in the hot seat this morning?
I am ready.
All right. So Joanna, first question I have for you, having dedicated numerous years to teaching business administration and HR-focused courses, what significant changes have you observed in your approach to educating students? And then also, how have both of these methods of education and curriculum evolved over time?
Yeah, so there have been a lot of changes in academics over the years. For instance, there's been much more of a shift from teacher-centered learning to student-centered learning. So what we've seen is in the past, we focused as teachers. We focused generally more on lecturing on content. So students would gain knowledge. They'd gain that content they needed to become career ready.
Yep.
And that usually revolved around the textbook. And so we'd lecture from the material in the textbook, and then these students would learn how to apply that knowledge when they actually got into the workforce. Well, employers need those students to be career ready.
Yep.
Before they enter the workforce. So they need to know how to apply it before they even enter the workforce. So what we've seen is the shift on more of a hands-on educational approach, a more experiential learning approach, where now, of course, students are still learning the knowledge. They're learning the content, but they're engaging in that content in the classroom, and they're learning how to apply it to real work situations.
Yep.
So, and they're participating in internships and externships and research, again, so they can engage in this information and know how to apply it. And we also focus on skill development. So professional skill development in particular. And so we want students to be able to communicate well with others. So we work on those skills. We want them to be able to formulate a persuasive argument. We want them to problem solve better. So we work on those skills in the classroom and how to apply them so that there's an easier transition from, again, college to the workplace. And we also focus on what are your abilities? What are your abilities to take this knowledge, take these skills, and apply it to different situations? So here we've seen also this transition, like I mentioned before, from teacher-centered learning to student-centered learning. And professors understand students learn in different ways. So we teach utilizing different teaching methods in the classroom for a better understanding and engagement in that information. And we want students to feel power to decide what they're going to learn, how they're going to learn it, and to focus on their strengths. And that is really key. Invest in those strengths, and that will set you up for greater success when you transition into the workplace. So just a few changes there.
Oh yeah. I knew that you had a lot on that one. And I just thinking back to even when I was leaving high school, going into college, and then leaving college and going into the workforce. I'll be honest, I just felt like I was unprepared for it. And so it's really exciting seeing how things have changed, and it's been making an impact for both the student and their future employers as well. So next question I have for you, Joanna, as the current vice president of GRHRA and with your impending role as president in 2024, what aspects of your journey on the board have been most exciting for you thus far? And moreover, what are you eagerly looking forward to in the year of 2024?
Yeah, well, this is a great time to be on the board because it is a really interesting time to be in HR. And of course, those changes in HR that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis and membership is dealing with on a day-to-day basis translates directly to GRHRA. And so one of the things that I'm really excited about is the programs we're going to be offering for the rest of this year and into next year and even beyond. Because of course, as we all know, pre-pandemic, we were mainly face-to-face programs. During pandemic, we were virtual. And then now we're post-pandemic. Okay, now how do we meet membership's needs? Because some people still like the convenience of virtual programming. Some like the face-to-face interaction. So how do we make sure that membership is getting what they need and the content they need in this ever-changing world? So HR world, I should say. And so I think programming is going to be really exciting for the next year. And one of the things that has really interested me most, and I really do state to our members out there watching this to please engage, volunteer on the committees as a committee chair, as a to be on the board, so that you get to see the behind the scenes of what's going on. Because you really, I mean, I'm in awe of all the hard work and dedication that our board members put into creating these membership benefits, experiences, opportunities, and how hard they work. And it's an honor to serve with them and work with them and learn from them. So that's been very exciting as well this year, is just to get to engage and volunteer for this great organization.
Yeah, I would completely agree, because when I first started as a member of GRHRA, I want to say it was not even a year before I became active on the board, and just how that just opened up the floodgates on all the opportunities that GRHRA provides. And I just looked at this past week, and it appears that we've grown at roughly 32% from year over last with membership. So for those of you who are listening, there's a lot of people that are now taking advantage of GRHRA. And so if you've not yet done so, we welcome you with open arms. So last question I have for you this morning, Joanna, could you share a cherished memory involving a mentor who perhaps had a profound impact on your career? And then what did this person do for you? And what valuable lessons did you learn from them that have helped shape your present achievements?
Well, I am so grateful to all the mentors that I've had in my life. Actually, there was one mentor very early on in my life. This was 8th grade, my junior high school counselor. And she actually, at the time, I was a B average student, and I wanted to study. I wanted to basically do my college prep in high school and then study medicine in college because I wanted to be a doctor. And I went in to talk with her about this. And first of all, she believed in me. That's number one. She believed in me, believed I could do it. But the biggest, most profound lesson she taught me was to focus on my strengths and not my weaknesses. Yeah. So at the time, math and science were my strengths. She was like, take all the advanced coursework you can in math and science, and don't worry about the others. Take the minimum on the others that aren't your best subjects, but focus on your strengths. And she said, if you focus on your strengths, you're going to succeed throughout life. So invest in those strengths. And that's what I did through high school, through college, graduate school, and my professional career, is I focused on those strengths. And even today, I teach my students, going back to that student-centered learning, focus on your strengths. When you get into the workplace, focus on your employees' strengths, and it'll set you all up for success. So that was the most profound lesson I learned from her.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I mean, that resonates with how my life has been as well. Is just focusing on your strengths. Be aware of what your weaknesses are, but
absolutely,
go all in on your strengths, and it's just amazing what can happen to you in your career if you just do that. And it's less stressful too. I mean, we just got to focus on our strengths, and we'll be just fine. So anyways, Joanna, I want to thank you again for participating in the hot seat today. Hopefully the questions weren't too hot, but excellent answers that you provided. Again, for those of you who are listening, if this is your first time checking out GRHRA, again, we are open arms to welcome you to any of our hybrid of in-person, virtual events, or even simply some of our member meetups where you just get to come and meet up with some of our members and just learn what they're about. So thanks again, Joanna, and you have a wonderful day, all right?
Thank you, you too.